In today's video, we'll talk about the 3 negative influences that money is having on your big idea right now. Money. It's something each of us needs on a daily basis. We can't live without it. It's something that every single day we walk out with a little bit of money in our hands and we spend it on something. We need it. We need it to live every day. And yet it's also the #1 thing that we have stressors over. People like the American Association of Psychology have actually done surveys on it and shown that the #1 problem with stress in our lives today are always money related. That is where our stress lies. And with good reason. Money is something that we physically cannot live without. It's something that we are always incorporating into our lives. And in some cases, we're making it even more important than it truly needs to be. After all, money really has no value other than the value that we have assessed it, that we have put into it. Money is simply a paper and metal. There's nothing more to it. But psychologically, we have placed a lot into money. We need it to get the things we want. We need it to get the things that we want to do or that we want to strive for in our lives. And there lies the problem when we are trying to move forward with our big idea. I'm going to talk to you today about 3 different holdbacks that are actually holding you back when it comes to money and pursuing your interests, pursuing your passions, and turning them into a viable business opportunity. Because every big idea that you have, every different concept that you can come up with, every different idea that you have has the potential of being something huge, of actually moving forward and being something great in society. But what's holding us back more than ever are money related. And there are simple ways that you can go around that and that you can actually sidestep those and create your big idea into something that's beyond even your wildest dreams. So the #1 holdback when it comes to money and your big idea is discretionary income. A lot of us plan for the future and say, someday I will do this. I've got this big idea, but right now my kids are little, so I'm going to wait until they're in school. I'll have more time at that point. Sounds logical, but again, it very rarely happens. Or maybe you're one that says, you know, when the kids are just too little, I'm running around. Maybe once they get into high school and they start driving on their own and they have, lives more on their own, I'll have more time myself. The problem with that is it always follows you. There's always more and more to do. Or maybe you're the type that says, you know what, in retirement, I'll have a lot more time, a lot more money, a lot more energy, a lot more of everything, so I'm going to put it off until I reach that point. Again, it sounds good in theory, but once you do that, there will always be something that comes your way and that takes place in your life over your big idea. There's only one way to do it, and that's to take the steps now necessary to put your big idea into place. Or maybe you're the type of person that says, right now I'm living literally paycheck to paycheck. I don't know, where I would find the money to put my big idea into place. I have this idea, but it's going to need work. It's going to need time. It's going to need energy, and it's going to need money to put it into place. If I'm writing a book, I'm going to need to produce the book. I'm going to need to set up the business model. I'm going to need to do all these things, and I just don't have the resources right now to do that. Again, it sounds good in theory. But if you don't put the money towards it right now, if you don't create the steps, and if you don't literally label them out, write them down and say, I'm going to need $100 for this and $100 for that, it will never materialize. It will never happen. Because money just doesn't grow out of nowhere when you don't even know how much money you need. So if you have a big idea, the first step that you need to do is write a list of to-do steps. What do you need to do to put your big idea into place? Do you need to build a website? How much will that cost? Do you need to get a license so that you can actually go into business in your location? How much is that going to cost you? Just by seeing those numbers in some cases can help you with your mindset and turn that big idea into something more. Now, the third problem that we see very commonly happening quite a bit with people that's holding them back from their big idea is the fact that they don't know what their true potential is. Now you might say, I've always dreamed of writing the great American novel or the romance of the century, having someone take that and produce it into a movie, or becoming a lifestyle coach, or whatever it is that your goal has ever been, whatever that big idea is that's kind of moving around in the back of your mind. But what does that mean when it comes to a business model? What does that mean when it comes to actually looking at that big idea and putting it down on paper as a business opportunity? Because you can go ahead and you can say, I'm going to write a great novel and I'm going to sell it.
If you sell it 50,000 copies at $1 each, again, that's $50,000. And that might be great for your first year. Maybe you can get by, you have savings, you have other things with that, and that will work for you. But is it realistic that you're going to continue year after year to sell 50,000 of that great American novel that you wrote? Now, again, a lot of people have done it, but what is the reality of it? And what are you going to do to follow that up? What are you going to do with your big idea to actually create a business model? Are you going to just sell books? Are you going to sell coaching? Do you have a product? Do you have a service? What does your big idea incorporate? What do you actually see coming to fruition with your big idea? How can you build it into something that's going to sustain you and going to be able to carry you from this point forward as a business model, as a lifestyle business that can allow you to do whatever it is you choose to do, whether it's travel, whether it's just being able to stay home, have a little more flexibility and freedom. Again, all that is up to you. How do you see it? What is it in your mind that you see this business looking like? But if you don't see it, you can't produce it, right? Simple as that. So if you like this video, if you like all the tips that I've shared here, I share tips in a variety of ways. I share my tips over on my blog in a free newsletter that I send out once a week. Please sign up if you haven't done so. Or if you're right here on visionofsuccess.com or visionofsuccess.tv, make sure you sign up that way too, because we will definitely be sending out these videos as well on a weekly basis. I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to sharing tips with you again soon.